ladies, do you chart your cycle? Oh, you don't because you're single right now. Did you know this is actually a great time to start charting your cycle? Yes, it is, and I want to share some things with you from my own experience. When I started charting and keeping track of my cycle with the Cate method, I was so single. I had actually just gone through a breakup. It seemed like a really strange time to be focused on my reproductive health. But I am so glad that I started doing it, because actually our cycle is not just a window into our reproductive health. It actually tells us a lot about our health in general. So there were things about my cycle that were indicators that there might be something a little bit off in my body. So I learned a lot about the length of my cycles, or the type of bleeding that I had, or the type of discharge. Things that I thought were just normal, that weren't, or things that would change over time, and that might have been a result of stress, or something off with my thyroid or my endocrine system. So those are things that I would just always be like, oh, well, my cycle was 28 days this time, or my period was late this time, or it was really short, or it didn't happen, and I didn't know why. But now that I actually track it, I know, like, oh wow, that's probably because I have been going through a lot of stress, or maybe it's the way that I'm eating, or maybe there's something off that I need to take a look at. So I think that it was really great that I started charting when I did, because I'm now engaged and getting ready to get married, and engagement is a really wonderful, awesome time. It's also a very stressful time. I can't imagine trying to learn about my cycle at this time, because I feel like things are just going to be really off because of a lot of stressors, a lot of travel, planning a wedding, getting ready to move, all of these things. But another reason that I like tracking my cycle is it has helped me to really understand how beautifully intricate and awesome our bodies are. You know, our reproductive system is not the enemy. Sometimes our periods get a bad rap. Our PMS gets a bad rap. Just our cycle in general. We blame it on being a woman. We blame it on our cycle. But actually, our cycle is so amazing and awesome. And God created women as these amazing beings, and our bodies work together, all the parts, and our fertility, our reproductive health says something about the rest of our body, and the rest of our body also affects that. I just think it's amazing, and it's very empowering too, because there's so much that goes on in our bodies that is beautiful and wonderful and right, and a lot of the world and modern science wants to tell us that that we just fix things with medicine or with birth control, and certain types of medicine can be good, but oftentimes hormonal birth control is prescribed when there are plenty of other things that could be done to help women with issues that they're having related to hormones. So I'm so excited about being a woman, and my cycle it can be rough, but I don't want to see it as an enemy. It is part of who I am. It's wonderful and beautiful. And now, as I'm in my later 30s preparing for marriage, I'm really glad that I've been tracking, so that I'm aware of some of the potential issues that I could have with fertility as I prepare for marriage, and I'm able to work on some of those. And I have some single friends who chart, and I really encourage anyone who wants to understand more about their health and their body, and who is hoping to get married one day. If you feel called to the vocation of marriage, it's never too early to start charting. It really isn't. I'll share with you a few of the practicals. This is my Cate chart. Now, there are different methods of tracking your cycle, different methods of fertility awareness, also known as NFP. Cate is really awesome because it is based in science and uses biomarkers in your body, but there's a very spiritual foundation to it. So I appreciate both aspects of it. And each day of the month I record my biomarkers, and so I have red and yellow and white and green stickers, and it's a crazy system, but it's actually really awesome because I can look back over time and see how certain changes in lifestyle or eating habits have been able to affect my cycle for the better, or how times of stress can affect my cycle. My Creighton practitioner and a physician that I'm working with have helped me to see things that I might need to work on, different supplements that I might need to take. I also understand more of how my thyroid and some of the issues I've had are connected to my reproductive health. So it's been an amazing journey. It's not always easy. It does take commitment, but that discipline is also good for us. It's good to have that discipline. And I think it's good to have awareness of our bodies and the beauty of our feminine bodies, even before we're married. As single women, we still have all of these things, and we need to understand how everything works, because it's still a part of who we are, and it can say a lot about where we are health-wise. And it's an adventure. It can be challenging. It takes a lot of dedication, but it also is very empowering. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today, a little bit about why I chart and why I encourage single women to do it even before you're married. I think it's a wonderful option for us as faithful Catholic single women. And, God willing, we enter into our vocations one day, and we're more prepared for that, and we're not as caught off guard. So I hope that you feel encouraged to love your feminine body and to be curious to learn more about how our cycle as women is a window into our overall health. Thanks, and God bless.